Nancy Schoenberg and her husband Mark Swanson are celebrating 25 years of marriage, but they still can't agree about how they met while in graduate school at the University of Florida.
I walked in and saw her sitting there and said, she looks cute, sat down next to her, and that's how we met.
Alternatively, I attended the Florida Anthropology Student Association, and I thought, I'm going to sit next to this guy because he looks lonely and he looks like a nice, cute guy.
So this is the big fight of our marriage, is who sat down next to who.
A few years and 2 kids later, they arrived in Lexington.
What I do mostly is applied kinds of research on the food environment, and I'm interested in how the social and physical environment can shape what people eat.
And I, too, am a health disparities-focused researcher, and I am most interested in understanding how to work with communities to improve their health.
I do a lot more teaching than Nancy does, and I would say the teaching is my favorite part. There's something about being in a classroom when you just can see a student get it. I think I can speak for both of us, though, and say another favorite part is when we actually get off campus and go out into the counties and the communities of Kentucky and see where our research is really making a difference in people's lives.
In fact, both describe Letcher County as kind of a second home because of Swanson's work with the Appal-tree program and Nancy's work with Faith Moves Mountains.
We've got a double storefront on Main Street, and that has been a really welcoming, rich community for us. We've worked in 8 counties in southeastern Kentucky, and Letcher County has been sort of our headquarters.
As they work with communities, they've come to count on each other for advice.
We've got a grant right now, and that is a grandparents raising grandchildren project where our intervention is gardening intervention. Now, I am not a gardener, but I am a gerontologist, so Mark has been very helpful with the gardening aspect of things. So that kind of a partnership with him bringing in knowledge of the younger folks and also of the gardening really complements a lot of the work that I do with the older part of the population.
And in my healthy eating project in Letcher County, this is a community-driven project. And one of the components they really wanted to do was a cooking class. And I don't cook. And so to be able to turn to Nancy and say, okay, what are the components we need to have, gave me a lot of confidence in being able to turn to her for advice.
And with each collaboration, they learn even more about each other, too.
He is a real inspiration in so many ways. Mark is a person who has definitely the best judgment of anyone I know. In his quiet, persistent, integrity-filled way, he inspires me tremendously.
Wow, that's tough to follow.
Sorry.
Actually, it's not tough to follow because Nancy is the kindest, most thoughtful of how what she does affects other people person I've ever met.
So while they still may not agree about how they met, they're on the same page when it comes to impacting the people of their adopted state.
If you look at the research that we do and our goal to have an impact on the Commonwealth at large, we have such commonality and values. I think we both feel incredibly fortunate at the backgrounds we've had, the strong families, the financial support and the security we've had, and to try to help other families get to that level where they can benefit from the kind of privileges we've had. That's something we've shared from the very beginning.
We could sit in our offices or in the library and do research all day, but for us it really comes alive when we are engaged with other people, and that requires us to be, and happily, in community settings.
But I also think when we're working in the communities of rural and particularly eastern Kentucky, it's a two-way street. It's not like we're out there telling people this is how you can have a better life. It's people helping each other.